Hey, maybe we might get lucky and Nix might do something in this chapter. Chapter 15. Nix's family. Bright Eyes stood patiently in line, doing his best to neither shrink nor sulk from place to place, nor run anywhere in panic. He kept his calm thus far, following the guards' instructions to the letter, going where they said to go, standing where they said stand. It was all rather unnerving, really. He was starting to question his decision to come here. That morning he finally put up his nerve and come along the long stairwell to the palace gates. The ponies in armor had forced him to halt, demanded to know what his business was. Stammering, he made his request. After placing a flaming green lantern over him, the two guards had looked at each other, shrugged, and let him in. Gave him a paper that said it was a day pass, and told him to go to the throne room and stand with the petitioners. After a couple of wrong turns and some directions from the kind servant ponies, he made his way to the start room. It was an enormous, round room with tall windows, and a ceiling so high it made him dizzy. You could see the crystal throne far off and across the room, and what had to be Princess Kane sitting there. There was a wide red carpet running along the room where she sat, and all sorts of important ponies standing in line. And he could take his place at the end of the line, trying to ignore all the funny looks he was getting, and waiting his turn. He was almost to the front of the line now. His jeers were getting worse by the second. Felt like he had a jillion guppies flopping around in his stomach. He really needed to pee, and the curious looks he was getting from every pony were making him want to turn around and run for his pony life. Why did he have to be so complicated? It was there. Princess Cadance looked down at him, glaring from surprise. Her husband was standing next to her. He looked at Briareus's Price as well. Did he recognize him? Well, hello there, the princess said, smiling. Bright-Eyes felt his stomach unknot a little. She looked very kind. Surely she wouldn't be angry at for bothering her. He bowed nervously. Hello, your majesty, he said. He just managed to quaver out of his voice. My name is Bright-Eyes. And what petition would you like to make of the throne, my little pony? Princess Cadance asked. Mistaking Briar's hesitation for uncertainty, Prince Consort leaned forward. She means, what did you want to ask? He explained in a low voice. Bright Eyes refrained from telling him he understood. He just nodded and looked back to the Crystal Princess. The guards at the front gate said that some ponies had something they wanted to ask you. You had to come here and wait with the ponies standing in line, he said carefully. Yes, and what did you want to ask? Bright Eyes took a deep breath. Can Nix come out to play? Not to feel slowly, slowly and rolled across the room. Bright Eyes sat there, doing his best to look as small as possible. Princess merely sat there, biting her lip, but he could tell she was struggling not to laugh too. When the laughter died down, she said, Well, Nix is going on an outing with her grandparents today. If you hurry, you can go along with them. I'm sure they want to check. Guard, escort Mr. Bright to the royal apartments upstairs and tell him he's here. She leaned forward. For now, Mom Bright I'll have the guards take you right there when you visit. It's faster that way. Thank you, Your Majesty, Bright said. He hesitated. Visiting was remembering something else. You're welcome. Was there anything else you need to ask? Bustling politely, Bright looked around and edged forward with an air of something was secret. To get hints, Cadance lowered her head and pricked her ear. He whispered in for a second. The princess chuckled and pointed with a hoof. Down the hall, first door to your left, sweetie. Thank you. They all want you to say it. I'm not doing it. They all want you to. I'm not doing it. They want you to. I'm not doing it, Trix. He galloped off, the guard escorting him to trot to keep up. It took a second for the participants and courtiers to get the joke. When they did, the laughter was even longer and louder than before. Cadance looked at Shining Armor. I want one, she said wistfully. Shining Armor leaned in close and murmured in her ear. As you wish. Showing shuffle a clear mail order one. Cadance slapped him on his shoulder, discreetly. Clive Velvet, Knightley, and Nix were just getting ready to leave when there was a knock on the door. Waldorf opened the door to reveal one of the royal guards standing there. At his heel was a small white unicorn coat with a silver mane. Officer Silversaber, presenting one Bright Eyes, requesting an audience with the princess's niece, the guard said formally, clicking his heels together. Waldorf cocked an eyebrow. Young niece, he said over his shoulder. A young, gentle-coat caller for you. Nix came to the door, peering around the butler's leg in curiosity. A smile lit up her face when she saw what it was. Greetings! she said happily. Grandpa, this is Bright Eyes, a friend of mine. The two elder Sparkles came up behind her as Walter stepped inside. They were interesting-looking ponies. They were both wearing loud four-print shirts and sunglasses. The mare was carrying a large camera around her neck strap. The stallion was wearing a bucket hat, clutching the stem of a cigarette holder in his teeth. Why does he even have that anyway? It's not even funny. Well, replied Velvet said, smiling. Well, hey there, sport, Nightlight said. What brings you by? The colt was given permission by Her Highness to request the honor of accompanying young miss and her grandparents on their outing, ma'am. The guard said, clicking his heels together again. Next looked at my grandparents. Oh, can you come with us, please? Well, I don't see why not, Velvet said, looking at her husband. Do your parents know where you are, though? Nightlight asked him. Bright nodded. I told them I'd be visiting a friend at their house, he explained. Velvet looked amused. The false Elsa constituted fully informed, and adult Elsa were two different things. I think I'll stop by your house and let them know all the same. Where do you live? We live in a caretaker's house at Crystal Park. I do your palace, ma'am, Brian said. My father's the caretaker. Oh, really? How necessary? Fascinating. Nick said suddenly. I got my stuff! Elsie ran back to the Destiny department and turned back. Come on, Bright Eyes, give me a hug. Bright Eyes hesitated and looked up at Nick's grandparents. They smiled and nodded. He tried to go back and sat their little unicorn. Thank you kindly, guardsman, Velvet said to the pony arms. He nodded, turned around, and marched off. Sunglasses, Bright Eyes read off the list. Sunglasses? Nick Steiner and Nora's tinted spectacles. Check. Bright Eyes stiffly ticked off the box on the list of a crayon. Hat? The legendary chapeau floated out of the closet and popped on Nick's head. Tick! Spending money. Nick started the coin purse as he opened saddlebags to the floor. Tick! Cow. Bright Eyes read confused. Nick started the closet, and her mouth was a bright purple child, monogrammed with the lesson, hoping Freud. She dropped the saddlebag. Tick! Smelly pants. It all led to the other saddlebag. Oh, did you bring Bilbo Burrow? Nick asked. Bright Eyes nodded and opened his own saddlebag. Just a little side were a lovely Stitch Burrow doll, right next to a copy of There and Back Again. Toy store made of wood. Nick nodded approval. Can't you double check? What's next? Bright Eyes looked at the list. Pee-wee. Bing! Nick whistled. There's a loud cheap, and the little fan stick flew into the room and landed on Nick's hat. Bright Eyes stared in awe. Well, he breathed. A real live baby phoenix. Where did you get him? He's not mine. He's Spike's, Nick explained. Spike got him on the last Great Dragon Migration. So why does he hang out with you? Bright Eyes asked. Nick looked around. I give him lots of cookies, she whispered. The two foals giggled. Bright Eyes looked down at the list. And saddlebags, he said. Nick took the strap on the saddlebags and expertly put them over her head. They landed perfectly across her back. Check. She smiled at Bright Eyes. Let's go. The detour to the park was a quick one. After all, it was directly below the legs of the gleaming spire that made up the royal palace. We know what it looks like, RC. We don't need to freaking link. Does that sound familiar to anyone else beside me? And as it so happened, Brian's parents were perfectly fine with her son going on an outing with the royal family. They said so once he stopped stammering. It was probably the two guards who were escorting him, Nick figured. They still made her nervous, since he was used to them. Once that was cleared up, they all took a quick trot around the park, just to take in everything. Nick wasn't sure she liked it. For a park, it was rather long on monuments and rather short on green grass and trees, as Swing said. The Crystal Heart was pretty, though. Where are we going? Bright Eyes asked. We're gonna meet my mom at the library, she informed him. She's been busy all day there. We gotta have lunch together. Oh, Bright Eyes paused. See, where are your sparkles? I just noticed they're gone. Nick looked at herself in surprise. It was true. She no longer sparkled like a crystal pony. You're right, she said. She looked at her grandparents. They weren't sparkling either. Grandpa, what happened? Grandpa Nightlight grinned around the cigarette stem. Your uncle, that's the prince, he said as the sight of Bright Eyes. Finally taught them off to peeling off those extra enchantments on the Crystal Heart. Said it was a necessary security measure. That reality check just realized they don't do that all the time. He finally realized that didn't make any sense. So they could tell this little ponies from apart from Crystal Empire citizens. Grandma Velvet explained. She sighed. Oh well, I miss having my hair done at the moment I stepped outside. Speaking of which, my dear, you might want to powder your nose, Grandma Knightley said. We're about to be in the news, he pointed. Headed their way was a small herd of ponies, some sparkling, some not, bearing notepads and cameras. Oh, for Pete's sake! Twice. Twice we've had to deal with this. Does this further the plot any? Does it help Nix's relationship with her family? No. Then we don't freaking need this scene! Oh my, Grandma Velvet said. She pulled a compact out of her saddlebags of romantic detective makeup. Okay, now pay close attention, Nix, dear, she said. So this will come in handy in the future. Now keep walking, everyone. And the next moment, the mob was upon them. The two guards took up defensive positions, keeping the reporters at spear length. Bladball pulped, and a dozen voices started in at once. One yellow and teal pony managed to edge forward, addressing Nightlight. Sir, we have some some questions we'd like to ask. Good for you, Sonny, Nightlight said, grinning around a cigarette stem. Pouring to stay inquisitive. Keeps the mind active. He turned away and kept walking. Tony Inquisitive stammered, floundering his own words. Another took a side. Sir? Ma'am? What is it, young lady? Is it be able to tell our aides? Velvet quipped, smiling at the cameras. The girl Nisa was quite easily tripped up. Ma'am, what's your relationship to the former Nightmare Moon? Fairly good, I would think. Did you get along, Tutley? Velvet asked the latter next. Yes, ma'am. There, you see. The reporter deadpanned. Seriously, ma'am. Oh, I'm always serious. It's only for. You know what? No! No, no, no. I know that this is supposed to be a crowning moment of awesome on TV tropes, and that this is supposed to be a really great moment for Nightlight, and how this is supposed to be so spectacular. But all this is just reality check getting off on attacking the press, because apparently he doesn't like them. It's not really awesome when these are just journalists asking questions. There are rules in place. This is insulting to the people who work hard as journalists. It also makes Nightlight come off like an asshole. So you know what? No. We're speeding this up. Fast forward! Sir, ma'am, we understand that you are the presence of the Carnosaur Prince. We are his place for the Crystal Throne. You'll have to ask his wife. He is the one who was wanting to tell him to move to first, Nightlight said. Poor boy, he'll have a bad back before you know it. Is it true that Celestia is trying to gain influence over the Crystal Empire? Nightlight looked at the report and shouted, Young fellow, you're going to have to be more specific than that. But nice try, lad, nice try. What are the royal family's plan for the former Nightmare Moon? Why is he brought here? Well, first he's going to meet her mother, Velvet said patiently, and then we're going out for ice cream. This was great for cheers by the two folks, so you mean the audience. So it went on for several minutes. When news points, fancy questions, twice spares for like merit or bunting. Even the stoic guards were trying to smirk at the pony paparazzi. He found himself stumbling and scrambling to do anything with the fake, frustrating, or even bizarre answers these two unicorns were giving him. Finally, one of them crossed the line, and belligerent stallion stepped forward. How do we know all this isn't some conspiracy to steal the contents of the tube and keep the Crystal Empire under the host of hierarchy? Other than a complete lack of any kind of proof, I said, dryly, common sense comes to mind. The pussy pony wasn't deterred. Well, with all the questionable individuals and associations and nepotism among you, we will not believe that, aren't you? How do we know you're not just releasing the contents of the tube to lull every pony into a false sense of security? This one may not like stop at a strike to turn to look into the one who spoke. His dark glasses gave him a blank, bug-like stare. I cannot rightly comprehend the confusion of ideas that leads to somebody to ask a question like that, he said. Are you stupid, boy, or are you mental? He stepped forward, his stub cigarette nearly poking the pony in the quest of the eye. Don't mess with me, boy. I am one of the quest of your beast. I am the original steam-powered animal. I have two pistols, built-in cow cancer. I will roll over your tiny ego like a herd of pie-crazed buffalo. I have seen horse apples. I spent a portion of my tower's cutiara day as a pie cactus. I was nearly a fire allowed to a tiny cockroach. I have all sorts of my kids on a regular basis, and my family picnics in the free forest and like Miss Harvey, saw Swartz gets with us. The first of my life on the forces of nature, boy. My daughter juggles her some misers for the past night. It makes everyone stand the court with each night. And it turned the chaos gathered to a bad bath. Singing her friends destroyed the Grand Galley Gala and the Princess Celestia Pollock. My son slaps Harvey out of the sky by snogging his wife. My daughter-in-law sits on the throne and held up the sky for 3 days, right to your force of will. And every single one of them calls me sir. Now listen to you, cat ray Gabby Gums. Since the dual throne was going to conquer your empire, it wouldn't look like this. It would involve the like press little release where you saw around Swimming Gelato while Princess Celestia's protege announces she's trying to love your long-lost historical treasures. You wouldn't have your Pretzel Crystal heart back. You certainly wouldn't see the lawful heir of the throne to the rightful place. The only warning you received before you woke up to Celestia Luna on your thrones would be the sun going out. The news probably swallowed Nightlight grinned fiercely, and Steve was grinding a cigarette holder. That's right, that is the date. That's the only warning the Griffin Empire had before the little actor invasion 400 years ago got a response. A nice little midday eclipse. 24 hours later, Celestia and the Solar Army were rolling up to the last of the Griffin Empire's army like a pastry chef rolling a blitz. It was a century before the sanctions were let in, before Dave Griffin was allowed to carry anything more intimidating than a paradigm. To this day, the Griffin Kings whitewashed the seats of their thrones with the very thought of going to war with Equestria. They're not too fond of eclipses ever, come to think of it. If anything, that makes Equestria look very much like a military power than anything else. That has some really bad implications. I don't like that. I mean, yeah, it makes Celestia look like a badass, but at the same time, makes her look kind of conquering. I mean, what were the circumstances of it? Were they talking, or was this a surprise attack? That's what take over Celestia looks like. Celestia don't want to conquer you or control you. They've already had one king to the run. They certainly don't need two. They want to strengthen you, to give you the power to take care of yourselves. That's why her pros find your crystal heart. That's why she's looking for the lost secrets of the earth body and the crystal body of magic. Nobody want to be wasting their time. You have to go and conquer the crystal of the storm. You may well know that, you post sleep one cranker. As to what the former nightmare moon is doing, she is doing is being with her family, and our plans for her are to help her mother raise her a good, kind, decent, upstanding mirror. And so for that seeing Snakes gave her throne, her power, even her name, became a little filly again for the love of her mother. I dare say Twilight Sparkle's doing a very good job of raising her as is. Now step aside, you son of a cart, base curse liar. We're on our way to meet our daughter. With that, he marched forward, looking left to right. The snooze police parted before him without another word. His wife followed by two souls that were giving it all. And two folks were having considerable trouble not cracking a grin. Okay, let's see you do the last two lines even faster. I was looking at you with bullies that could buy us that lesson of race and take it as I said over soldier, but to be fair, I had a fan of that were likely just trying to get me watching. As this was spent through that last chapter, let's continue on. Chapter 16.
Okay, Miss Sparkle. Can you tell us what part of this plan is finding us to exactly?
I turned around, smugly smashed her nose against the camera. Yep! Miller, back up a little. Oh, ahem. She rated her nicer mode as the camera slowly moved back, thinking in the unicorn. Library behind her, and a cloud of books swinging back and forth through the air. Actually, this is one part of two different projects. We're in the middle of a massive renovation of Crystal Empire Library, but the issue of the lost seems surface. So, we're simultaneously completing the renovation and reorganization, and sifting through the archives for any references or information about the tomb or its location. Over here, she pointed. The camera panned over clumsily to focus on a set of tables, where ponies were laboriously sorting through stacks of books, putting little ruined stickers on the spine. The staff is sorting through the books by the Doohoof decibel system into their appropriate categories, and tagging them accordingly. Then, the emphatic sorting spell picks them up, transforms them into stacks, and sells them accordingly. As the camera focused, an emerald grows surrounding the stacks of books on the end of the table. The cameras tried to stay zoomed through the air, like a flock of birds, coming to rest neatly on a nearby shelf. Somebody just sells the books that are already there. Once they're shelved, they're accessible to a special set of content searching spells made by Foxfire, Googleplex, and Wikispeed that let us search them for all rapidly and for any information on the lost tomb. The camera followed her hoof as she indicated the flickering web of emerald lines that stretched from every shelf book. Across the ceiling, set a series of podiums and chalkboards levitating scrolls. 4 or 5 ponies were gathered around each podium, muttering things, taking notes, and making suggestions. Every now and then, a book would fly from the stacks to a set of mostly empty shelves set aside near where they worked. As you can see, any books with potential content are pulled so they can be gone more thoroughly later.
So how much have they found?
The camera turned back to Twilight. Twilight bit her lip. Not much, she said. But still in the early process, so there's still a great deal we can find. She looked over her shoulder. What's this? The camera panned again, revealing Defrag, Foxfire, Flickr Speed, Google Play sitting in one of the browsing podiums. They were staring at the scroll in front of them. Hands all tilted to the left for some reason. Expressions indescribable. What's going on? Twilight asked.
Trying to calibrate the image searching spell.
Google Play said a distracted murmur.
I think it needs work.
Flickr Speed said, eyes glazed. Why? What's wrong with... Twilight said a view, standing behind the others to see what's on the scroll. There was a scruffle of purple hollow sounded by the lens. Turn it off, assistant! Twilight could be heard saying, yeah, before Spike or some fool sees it.
Okay.
Find that book and take it out to shelves. Put it in a box or something. What kind of words were you looking for to get an image like that?
Let's see. Macrame?
But delivery was a monotone disbelief. What in the world? Roller end out layer. Stop filling! Roller for crying out. Ahem. As I was saying, this is only the first step for the hunt for the lost tomb. While we're working here in the library, a couple of professors from the Camelot University are researching the folklore and oral history of the Crystal Empire, while others are examining the relics and artifacts that, till now, were kept in secrecy in the chambers of this very library.
So who's doing that?
Well, the interns are doing most of the actual work with the relics, under the watchful eyes of Miss Precious Lore. But folklore research in particular is being headed up by Professor Dubious.
Dubious? That nozzle?
Oh, you can't say that for him.
But he is. He's a complete nozzle. And a unicorn supremacist suit, that big friggin'
bowler! You better edit that last bit out, you hear? Is it right? Oh, ahem.
So why is Professor Ian Dubious heading up the research? Does he believe in the lost tomb or earth-blowing magic?
Yeah, I'm quite curious about that. Twice sighed bare lip. Because he's that good at what he does.
That's not an excuse.
Just because you're good at something doesn't mean you're qualified for it. Besides, you just spent last chapter explaining why he sucks at what he does. He's been disproven several times. He should be the last person you ask. He's thorough and meticulous. He may not believe all folklore and legends, and has probably been proved a liar more times than I can count, but he's very good at fishing them out and piercing the air. He personally rediscovered the lost tales of South Arabia and documented the legends of all the variants of the legend of Trotlantis. In the end, I don't care if he believes evidence or not, so long as he finds it for us.
So, Professor, why don't you believe in the lessons?
Professor Dubious stood in a basement chair, the archaic relics and tomes behind him. He held to the camera.
Let's cut to what you really want to say, boy. You want to accuse me of being an arbitrary skeptic.
You are?
Somebody refuses to believe anything, even when it bites him in the tuchus. Am I right? Let's see him go that. Am I? Well, you got a lot of things wrong lately.
Dubious snorted.
And how many things have I gotten right? No pony ever talks about that.
Well, buddy, when you're batting 0 for 4 on the terms of the lost lesson scale, I don't think anybody wants to talk about the things you've done right. Quick past the camera and the playing camera.
Why do you think I'm such a bitter, mean old skeptic, huh?
Yep. Because of everything.
Because Santa didn't bring you that hoofball you wanted for Heartwarming Day, I guess?
Yep. Dubious froze. For several seconds he stood before. Then he sat down, took off his pince-nez glasses off. His tone turned sober. Again, ignoring all the other legends that are prevailing in Equestria. That's like not believing in Vecna in D&D. He's right there! There is literally an item called the Hand of Vecna!
I don't believe in gods in the D&D world.
That's a cleric's power! You can literally ask the patron, a god, to be your patron in D&D so you can become a warlock.
When I was a boy, before I got my D&D mark, I believed in Santa. It wasn't hard, my family was well off, so there was plenty of presents at the house for me to eat, even the ones I asked for. As I got older, I couldn't help but noticing that other little fools, at least as good at kind of being as I was, really seemed to get what I asked for. Funny enough, the poorer your parents were, the less often it happened too.
Although, considering the world that we're in,
Of course, I finally caught those sneaky presents under the tree. Who doesn't figure out Santa isn't real eventually? Again! World we're in. The start of it all. Six alive, I was a single little blank fight after that. But what made it bad was, even after I cut my parents out, Gross was desperate for me to keep believing, even though it did me no good, even though it was an obvious lie.
in a world of magic and flying unicorns,
He just got all sorts of upset. I was supposed to believe, no matter what.
in a world of magic unicorns,
I started noticing all sorts of things I was expected to believe.
like magic.
I had one of those horrible doubter aunts who had all sorts of myths he expected me to believe. If you're naughty, the power sprite will eat you.
Well, considering what magic can do to some of those things,
If you eat sugar straight, you'll grow worms in your stomach. Don't touch frogs, you'll grow warts.
oh god, this guy is boring and dull. And we have to stick with him for the rest of the story, don't we? No, don't tell me!
There's a monster that lives in the old abandoned well. If you bother him, he'll drag you in.
Well, again, this being Equestria, that might happen.
I'm gonna make a face, he'll stick that way, that sort of thing. No, she couldn't just tell me not to do something. She had to make up some horrible myth or mythical boogeyman to frighten me. Consequently, I took a particular delight in proving her wrong. I would ask doctors about the worms in the stomach or getting warts from frogs, and definitely report my findings. I would sit and make faces for hours on end and point out loudly I still wasn't stuck. I went down that abandoned well with a rope ladder. I got stuck, and they had to call the fire department to fish me out. But I found zero well goblins.
He just happened to miss out on the Kraken.
I made a point of telling everyone present that I debunked the parasite thing by sitting all night in a closet full of them. Hell, one closet, one parasite, 15 boxes of honey puffs. By morning, I had 0 honey puffs and about 100 or so parasites.
And your phrase was emptied.
There's peanut butter on my face. He let the peanut butter off and let me be. Is it being naughty? Well, Auntie Sally had nothing nice to say after she opened the closet and let my parasites loose in her house. You a rotten little kid. Say that and smile.
Okay, you're a rotten little kid.
Klitzer. No, even though I was going about this primitive debunk on certain things, I was still gullible. I still had things I wanted to believe were true. I'm quite direct, James he says, a little skeptic. Colson Phillies wouldn't even ask me if something was true or not, before believing it themselves, but there was one cold school, Silver Tongue, and every pony in press. All the black folks looked up to him, myself and Kate, even though I reached the point where I nearly doubted everything every pony said. For some reason, I always trusted Silver Tongue. One day, I don't know, I suppose he decided it'd be funny to convince the Italian pony of something ridiculous. So he took me aside and convinced me he knew a spell that would make unicorns fly.
Cloud walking. Levitation.
So one of those things I always dreamed of was a fool. He will fly like a Pegasus, and here he was claiming he had learned the flying wing spell. To my eternal shame, I believed him. On the spot, I asked him. I begged him to cast upon me. Well, it wasn't a flying spell, of course, just an elusive spell that made it look like I had butterfly wings growing on my back. He even had his friends stand behind me and levitate me for a moment to convince me. Now I knew he couldn't cast that spell. Grown unicorns couldn't cast that spell. Points at Rarity. It was all about flunking his magical classes. He could barely levitate an orange. I could see his friends' magical aura around me, levitating me, but I wanted so badly to believe. I ignored my common sense and every clue it was a trick.
So you're just an idiot.
I decided to impress all.
No, you're just an idiot.
So I climbed an idiot.
I'm stopping your paragraph right there. You're an idiot.
But you gotta know my pain. I was in a hospital and I had all 4 legs in cast. I think like to each other and shut up. That's all I heard. Right, you mark.
Shut it.
Boy, ponies are too ready to believe. Too ready to believe in anything. Either because they're afraid it's true or because they just really wish it was. Just like little fools desperate to believe in a fat pony squeezing down a hut to give their greedy hearts a desire. Or that Princess Liz alter ego would jump out of the closet to gobble them up. Or a silly little unicorn believing that a smooth-tongued liar can make him fly. Ponies wonder why I research mythology and folklore and oral traditions
And are proven wrong so many times.
While I research old tales, stories, and legends, I dissolve myth and secrets of birth pony magic. The same way a pony living in Australia researches poisonous snakes. I know what falsehoods are out there grumbling at the truth, so I can know where they came from, putting my hoof down where their fangs can reach. I tell things because nobody else seems to be willing to. Ponies don't like me, they hate me for spoiling their fairy tales, but you know what? I can live with that. Because I'd rather break some silly teenager's heart than later hear about how they broke their legs.
My friend, come with me. We have things to talk about. I would have Twilight stop him, but gosh darn it, if I don't want to enjoy watching this man suffer! Carl fell into his end. The camera flipped a click to a halt. Roller loaded his camera blinking. Professor gave him a long valley way and turned away.
Now, excuse me, I have work to get back to.
Roller took his camera and quietly left. After flipping him off!